Sir, my concern is not whether God is on our side. My greatest concern is to be on God's side, for God is always right. No man has a good enough memory to be a successful liar. Most folks are as happy as they make up their minds to be. Character is like a tree and reputation like a shadow. The shadow is what we think of it. The tree is the real thing. Always bear in mind that your own resolution to succeed is more important than any other. Be sure you put your feet in the right place, then stand firm. I am not bound to win, but I am bound to be true. I am not bound to succeed, but I am bound to live by the light that I have. I must stand with anybody that stands right, and stand with him while he is right, and part with him when he goes wrong. I will prepare, and someday my chance will come. As I would not be a slave, so I would not be a master. This expresses my idea of democracy. Don't worry when you are not recognized, but strive to be worthy of recognition. Do I not destroy my enemies when I make them my friends? Important principles may and must be inflexible. Marriage is neither heaven nor hell. It is simply purgatory. That some achieve great success is proof to all that others can achieve it as well. No man is good enough to govern another man without the other's consent. Let's have faith that right makes might, and in that faith let us, to the end, dare to do our duty as we understand it. At what point, then, is the approach of danger to be expected? I answer, if it ever reach us, it must spring up amongst us. It cannot come from abroad. If destruction be our lot, we must ourselves be its author and finisher. As a nation of freemen, we must live through all time, or die by suicide. You have to do your own growing, no matter how tall your grandfather. You cannot escape the responsibility of tomorrow by evading it today. You can fool all the people some of the time, and some of the people all the time, but you cannot fool all the people all the time. The philosophy of the schoolroom in one generation will be the philosophy of government in the next. The ballot is stronger than the bullet. I do the very best I know how, the very best I can, and I mean to keep on doing so until the end. When I do good, I feel good. When I do bad, I feel bad. And that's my religion. If this is coffee, please bring me some tea. But if this is tea, please bring me some coffee. We the people are the rightful masters of both Congress and the courts, not to overthrow the Constitution, but to overthrow the men who pervert the Constitution. I am a firm believer in the people. If given the truth, they can be depended upon to meet any national crisis. The great point is to bring them the real facts. I have always found that mercy bears richer fruits than strict justice. Those who deny freedom to others deserve it not for themselves, and under the rule of a just God, cannot long retain it. This country, with its institutions, belongs to the people who inhabit it. Whenever they shall grow weary of the existing government, they can exercise their constitutional right of amending it, or exercise their revolutionary right to overthrow it. My dream is of a place and a time where America will once again be seen as the last best hope of earth. The probability that we may fail in the struggle ought not to deter us from the support of a cause we believe to be just. He has a right to criticize, who has a heart to help. I do not think much of a man who is not wiser today than he was yesterday. A friend is one who has the same enemies as you have. A house divided against itself cannot stand. No matter how much cats fight, there always seem to be plenty of kittens. Every man is said to have his peculiar ambition. Whether it be true or not, I can say, for one, that I have no other so great as that of being truly esteemed of my fellow men, by rendering myself worthy of their esteem. How far I shall succeed in gratifying this ambition is yet to be developed. Towering genius disdains a beaten path. It seeks regions hitherto unexplored. How many legs does a dog have if you call his tail a leg? 4. Saying that a tail is a leg doesn't make it a leg. Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. Government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. I don't like that man. I must get to know him better. All that I am, or hope to be, I owe to my angel mother. I am a slow walker, but I never walk back. It has been my experience that folks who have no vices have very few virtues. My great concern is not whether you have failed, but whether you are content with your failure. The best way to get a bad law repealed is to enforce it strictly. I like to see a man proud of the place in which he lives. I like to see a man live so that his place will be proud of him. Discourage litigation. Persuade your neighbors to compromise whenever you can. As a peacemaker, the lawyer has superior opportunity of being a good man. There will still be business enough. Labor is prior to and independent of capital. Capital is only the fruit of labor, and could never have existed if labor had not first existed. Labor is the superior of capital, and deserves much the higher consideration. If we could first know where we are, and whither we are tending, we could then better judge what to do, and how to do it. Avoid popularity if you would have peace. I remember my mother's prayers, and they have always followed me. They have clung to me all my life. The shepherd drives the wolf from the sheep's throat, for which the sheep thanks the shepherd as his liberator, while the wolf denounces him for the same act as the destroyer of liberty. Plainly, the sheep and the wolf are not agreed upon a definition of liberty. With malice toward none, with charity for all, with firmness in the right, as God gives us to see the right, let us strive on to finish the work we are in, to bind up the nation's wounds. We should be too big to take offense, and too noble to give it. I want it said of me by those who knew me best, that I always plucked a thistle and planted a flower where I thought a flower would grow. The things I want to know are in books. Whenever I hear anyone arguing for slavery, I feel a strong impulse to see it tried on him personally. Don't interfere with anything in the Constitution. That must be maintained, for it is the only safeguard of our liberties. I was born and have ever remained in the most humble walks of life. I know that the Lord is always on the side of the right, but it is my constant anxiety and prayer that I and this nation may be on the Lord's side. If I were two-faced, would I be wearing this one? My paramount object in this struggle is to save the Union, and is not either to save or to destroy slavery. If I could save the Union without freeing any slave, I would do it, and if I could save it by freeing some and leaving others alone, I would also do that. There is no grievance that is a fit object of redress by mob law.